Good morning, class.
Good morning,
Morning,
ma'am.
ma'am.
How are you all, my dear students?
Yeah, good.
Good.
Yeah,
So
good,
let us
ma'am.
begin our class. So students, what do you see in the given figure?
When
Children's
children are
playing.
playing at the playground.
Students are?
Playing in the playground.
Yes, very good. All the children are playing in the playground. So see, how does the boy feel after playing or doing some physical activities?
Tired. Tired, ma'am.
Very good. The children will feel tired. So students, why does he feel tired?
Because of physical activity.
Yes, because of physical activities. Anything else, students?
Because of sports.
Because of sports. What does students, what happens when we feel tired? Why we feel tired?
Ma'am, we lose our energy while
Get
doing
drained
work.
out. When we do any kind of physical activities or we play, we lose our energy. So today's topic is energy. So we shall study the topic energy. So when we feel tired, we run out of energy. And when we run out of energy, we eat food, which gives us energy. So we will start our class with the definition first. That definition says that energy is defined as the capacity to do work. So students, why do we need energy?
We need energy to do work.
We need energy to do work. What else? Why do we need energy? Something extra? We need energy to work.
To perform our day-to-day functions.
To day-to-day function. Very good. Something else? Don't you think we need energy to play?
Yes, ma'am.
We require energy to do our work as well as to play. So we need energy to work and play. So now we will study different forms of energy. So energy is stored in different forms. Okay, students, so we will study energy. So students, tell me, what happens when a moving ball hits the another ball which is at rest?
The other ball also starts
the
moving.
the direction of the ball changes.
Very good. The another ball will also starts moving. Why does this happen, students? Why other ball starts moving?
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
because
one ball exerts force on the other.
Very good. Exerts force. For force, what do we need? When we apply force, so what do we need
energy,
over
ma'am.
there?
Energy.
Very good. It is due to energy. So students, some kind of energy is stored in the moving ball, which is we called it as kinetic energy. So definition of kinetic energy states that energy which is possessed by an object due to its motion is known as kinetic energy. So let us see the examples of kinetic energy. See, aeroplane flying, women cycling, car moving, it is all because of its motion. So in all these examples, we have seen that energy is possessed by an object due to its motion, which we call its kinetic energy. So students, will you be able to give some more examples of kinetic energy?
Hitting. Hitting someone.
Hitting, yes, the food comes in motion. Very good. Something else?
Hitting. Hitting.
Oh,
Means beating
hitting.
someone. Yes.
Hitting someone. Another example?
Flying kite.
Flying kite, very good, because the kite is in motion and it is because of energy is stored in object due to its motion. So we will call it as kinetic energy. So now we will see the another kind of energy. So before starting that topic, I would like to I would like to ask some questions. So students, tell me, what will happen when we raise any object to a certain height and drop it?
Uh,
Suppose we are taking any glass plate to a certain height and drop it. What will happen?
It will fall and break.
Very good. It will fall and break. So students, why does it break down?
does it fall from the height and
Very good. And
because and it moved towards the other object, and when two objects collide, it broke.
very good. Sakshi, it breaks down because the energy has stored because of height. As you have mentioned, it is because of height. So potential energy is that which is possessed by an object due to their position, which we call it height or shape, is known as potential energy. See here, ball has potential energy. Why the ball has potential energy?
Because it is being dropped from a height.
Yes, due to height. The main word which we need to highlight is here that it is due to height. The energy which is possessed in an object due to their height is known as potential energy. And this, when the object is at height, that is having potential energy. And that potential energy is transforming into kinetic energy because the ball has started moving. And we know that the definition of kinetic energy states that energy stored due to their motion is known as kinetic energy. So let us see the another example. Hammer. Hammer is taken up to a certain height. So energy is stored in hammer due to height. So here hammer is having potential energy. So now we will understand the concept with the help of a short video. Students, you have seen the video.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you observe here?
And while he was going up to the hill, then he was exerting more force. While coming down from the hill, he was able to do it very easily.
Yes, you're right. But related with the energy, what do you observe? Potential energy and kinetic energy. Explain me here.
While coming up, it was potential. While coming down, it was kinetic.
No. While going up, he was in motion. And when he was in motion, that we call it kinetic energy. When he has reached to a certain height, at that time he was having
Potential and
potential energy. And when he was coming downwards, so he was in motion due to his potential energy. The concepts are
Okay, ma'am.
clear, my dear students?
Yes, ma'am.
So now we will see the another kind of energy, that is mechanical energy. That mechanical energy is that it is the sum of its potential energy and kinetic energy. That when we combine potential energy and kinetic energy, that we call it as mechanical energy. So let us see the example to understand the concept of mechanical energy. See, who will explain me this figure? Anyone try?
Ma'am, first in the first figure, the nail is there on the block of the wood, and the hammer was first in the static, it was not moving, and in the second picture the hammer is moving towards the nail, and the third picture it is hitting the hammer nail.
Very good. What happens in the figure 1, the energy is stored due to its position. So we call it as potential energy. So in the second case, we see that the hammer has started moving, and we know the definition: when energy is due to its motion, we call it kinetic energy. And for to work, we need both potential energy and kinetic energy. So here we see that sum of potential energy and kinetic energy results into work, which we call it mechanical energy. Here, initially, the hammer has potential energy, which is being transferred into kinetic energy, and mechanical energy arises due to kinetic and potential energy, which results in work. Is it clear to you, students?
Yes, ma'am.
So, students, tell me, what do we do to get up in the morning? When we want to get up early in the morning, what is the thing that we do in the last night?
We
Put
set
an
alarm.
alarm.
Very good. We set alarms. So what happens when the alarm rings? What
We wake
happens
up.
when the alarm?
Ma'am, we hear a sound and then we get up.
Very good. We hear a sound. We hear sound because it produces sound, which is also a form of energy. So the next kind of energy is sound energy. So we will study the next energy, that is sound energy. Now, student, try to think, how does the sound produce?
When two objects collide.
Polite, something else?
Sound waves.
Sound waves? Anything else?
Ma'am, sound can also be produced by transfer of energy from one form to another, from electrical energy to sound
Very
energy.
good. It can be also, it is also produced by transforming one form of energy to another form of energy. So see what happens when we plug a stretched rubber band. What happens?
It has potential energy.
Potential energy. What happens? Does it vibrate?
Yes, ma'am.
Due to vibration, the sound energy is produced. So the definition of sound energy is that It is also a form of energy which is produced when an object vibrates. So students, give me some example of sound energy. The
Ringing
sound
of
is
bell.
produced. Ringing of bell, very good.
Whistle blowing.
Very good, whistle blowing. So let us see the figure. The examples of sound energy. Musician playing guitar, alarm clock ringing, man making announcement, rocket taking off, or music system playing. The ringing of telephone, popping sound heard when the balloon is pinched, and a clapping. When we clap, we hear sound. So these all are the examples of sound energy. So there are another kind of sound energy which we will study in the next class. That we will study the chemical energy, light energy, heat energy in our next class. So let us recapitulate what we have studied. We have studied energy, which is defined as the capacity to do work. We further studied different forms of energy, that is potential energy, which is due to its height, kinetic energy, which is due to its motion, and mechanical energy, which is the sum of its potential energy and kinetic energy. And we further studied sound energy, which is produced by when an object vibrates. So now, do you have any doubt, my dear students?
No, ma'am.
So now it's time to evaluate you all. So my first question is, define energy.
Is the capacity to do work.
Very good. It is the capacity to do work. Energy is the capacity to do work. Now the next question is that, how we can say that the bow works on the arrow at the expense of its mechanical energy? Here two figures are given and the hints are also shown here. So try to think how mechanical energy is working.
Ma'am, in the first picture, the bow and arrow is stretched in a certain position, which gives it potential energy. In the second picture, the movement of the bow, or when the arrow leaves the bow and it acquires some speed, then it possesses kinetic energy, and put together, they are able to perform work. And that is how mechanical energy operates.
Very good, Tanya. You are absolutely correct. Here, the potential energy is stored in the first figure, and the potential energy is transforming into kinetic energy due to its motion. And when the work is done with the help of potential energy and the kinetic energy, that we call it as mechanical energy. See, what happened when the bow is pulled, it stores energy. And when released, the bow uses its stored energy and pushes the arrow to its target area or trajectory. Thus, the bow works on the arrow at the expense of its mechanical energy. My third question is, differentiate between kinetic energy and potential energy.
And when the body is static or up to the height, it is called potential energy, and in kinetic energy when it is moving.
There's something more which needs to be added here, Sakshi. Here, you have to say the definition with respect to energy.
Mm.
Ma'am, the
You're right.
energy by a body by virtue of its shape or position is called potential energy, and the energy that a body contains by virtue of its movement or motion is called kinetic energy.
Very good. Now the definition is right, that energy is stored due to its motion, which we call it kinetic energy, and the energy which is stored due to its height or shape, we call it potential energy. Now, students, note down your home assignment. So, you have to write at least 3 examples of each forms of energy which you observe in your surroundings. Okay, students?
Yes, ma'am.
So, thank you, class.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, finished.